Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. The things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and the medications are hard to pronounce. So please bear with me.
Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
How chronic illness has influenced your perspectives on friendships, and how so? For me, the epilepsy and the friendship was basically the memory. You know, when I meet somebody and if I don't see them again for a couple of weeks, then I will completely forget who they are. So I just tend to imagine close friends don't really happen. You know, see parents at the farm or whatever, wherever, if they end up going back to riding horses when it's not too hot, and I'll probably not remember them, but it is what it is.
Do you remember their names, Kate?
Never remember their names. Daughter does, but I try not to ask. I just let her, kind of take the lead on that one, and it's easier that way.
Hmm.
We'll see how it ends up on the trip. Finally got most of the shutters put up. Storm started about an hour ago, and we didn't lose power yet. But we'll see. Went down to Miami, and she's still waiting on the paperwork to get done to drive back up with the vehicle. Yep. It's not raining in Miami though. Nana's down there at the biggest car dealership in the state. She's getting a good job on the right car. I mean, good deal on the right car, and just gonna have to make it back in the storm here. But all right, back to epilepsy.
That's not going to be fun.
I'm thinking this might disappear by the time she gets up. She's only 2 hours away maybe from the dealership, and I'm thinking by that time she's been talking to these guys since 12 o'clock. She got all tense when this morning, I guess she got there around 10 and they were filming some commercial, and I guess there was a bunch of women in bikinis, and she didn't know what the hell to do. She was just sitting there waiting for some salesman to become available. But that was cute when she called all confused.
Mm-hmm.
I had to remind her she's in Miami. That's how it works. And it's just a regular Friday morning. That's awesome. I've never heard of anybody with epilepsy that has such a good memory.
I can remember certain long-time things, but
I was going to
others,
say that some people have some memories, not all of them.
yeah. My ex-wife told me we went to the opening night of the Pink Floyd The Wall concert,
Mm-hmm.
and which was supposedly a big deal. And I don't remember being there at all. I don't remember any part of it. But I remember plenty of other concerts I went to around that time. So it was really strange.
Okay, that's the
I got
chat.
one.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. What is the best trick to elevate your quality of life? With epilepsy.
Get high.
Hey, I like that one.
The only one I got.
What's a lesson that life forced you to learn the hard way? Be nice. Yeah. Treat people like people, not like really bad, I guess I'd say.
That's what I was going to say.
God taught me that things could be much worse. That's a lesson he showed me, because things got worse and then they got better. But it's got to get way worse before it gets better.
Yeah, so that's what it sounds like, more of a look on the bright side kind of thing. Remember what to be thankful for.
Another one, how do you cope with stress?
Get high.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hi, Annie.
Hey, hi Jeff. How you doing?
Okay, stop.
Today's not a great day, but I'm doing all right.
Yeah, yeah. Mine started a little sketchy myself. I'm like, oh wow, I made it through that, but whew, wasn't quite sure this morning. But yeah, and it's hot. It's too hot here. I don't like hot.
Mhm.
Hello.
We usually start with new people. What is it? When was the last time you had a seizure? When were you diagnosed? And what medication are you taking?
That's kind of complicated. I have them every day, but I'm not diagnosed now. I was diagnosed when I was a child, when I was a toddler, and I had them until I was 14. I had uh, 3 tonic clonics, I believe, maybe 3 or 4. And then I had a bunch of absence. Like my family was just used to me having them every day. And then when I was 14, we stopped the medication because I guess I didn't really know about it back then. But I think they thought I wasn't really having the seizures anymore, and they wanted to try without the medicine because I was on medicine for so long and it was affecting my liver. So I stopped taking the medicine, and we just did EEGs every year. And then when I was 19, I think that's the last one I had until I was like in my 30s. I'm in my 40s now, but when I was in my 30s, I started having these like weird symptoms, and I didn't know anything about epilepsy. I just thought seizures were just like shaking or spacing out. And
I thought the same.
yeah, I learned about focal seizures, and I was like, oh, I think this is happening to me. So I went to a neurologist, and I was having some other things too that never resolved from the time I was a child, which were like nocturnal episodes. But we still don't know what that was. It was like hallucinations, like waking up and seeing things and screaming. And so when I went to the doctor, I told her about those, and I also told her about the sensory things I was having. And she said, I think these are seizures. So she referred me to an epileptologist. And that was 7 years ago. So multiple EEGs, multiple, well, 2 MRIs, and basically got stuck with psychogenic seizures. So, yeah, that's where I am now, just trying to get help. Um, my function, I've never really been normal, because I was kind of born with epilepsy, but I used to be able to drive. I can't drive anymore. I have not driven in the past 4 years.
I haven't driven
And
in, something like that. But I've had
yeah.
epilepsy for 20 years. So,
Oh, did you drive before?
no, I was 16. So, 20 years ago, I got my permit. Like 3 weeks later, I had a seizure for the first time. Well, that was the second,
Oh,
actually.
oh
So
man, I'm sorry. I'm
it's all
happy.
right.
I was able to drive for 20 years. There's probably times I should not have been driving, but I didn't know what was going on. I just thought I was like sick all the time. And, I would get like dizziness and kind of just get confused all of a sudden, but I kind of took myself off the road when I was making bad decisions and almost caused accidents. And my doctor my epileptologist told me just to stop driving. But yeah, I don't have a I don't have a diagnosis currently.
Okay. I did get in an accident, unfortunately. Um, and yeah, I hit the center divide, and then when the airbag kind of hit me, is what brought me out of the seizure. Then I pulled over and continued the seizure, or maybe started another one. But yeah, that's how that played out. Okay, you got anything in?
Yeah, I was looking at here. Is the PNES the most recent? Oh, it looks like you probably just answered. Oh, okay. So if the psychiatrist actually tried PNES as the primary diagnosis, do you think it would take some kind of imaging or seizure captured on an EEG for you to get a better diagnosis, something a little more realistic from the neurologist?
Mm, I think I think I got dumped by my epileptologist. We did have a video call, and it was actually before the appointment I was supposed to go to because I was having these just episodes over and over again. And so I sent a message in my chart, and she said, well, let's just have an earlier appointment. And she had the talk with me, while I was in the middle of having an episode. She talked to me about PNES. And yeah, she said that I should she referred me for a psychological evaluation, but they don't refer you to a specific place. So you have to find the place because apparently psychological evaluations most of the time are not covered by insurance. So you have to pay out of pocket, and it's not cheap. And she also referred me for uh, my memory, um,
Oh yeah, my memory's gone.
occupational therapy and speech therapy because when I have these episodes, sometimes I lose my ability to speak or it comes out like broken. Um, so yeah, I didn't think that that was necessary because I was trying to explain to her that it's not permanent, it's temporary. It's only when I have the episodes, but I don't know. So I think that that's kind of what they do. I don't know. I think that might be protocol for psychogenic seizures is they do whatever therapy is. That's what they say is therapy. It's not cannot be treated with medication.
So do you agree with your diagnosis?
I I do not. Um, I just having come from a long history of having epilepsy and then someone telling you, "Oh, you don't have epilepsy," is weird because I had epilepsy, all my life. But no matter, I mean, I've seen two epileptologists so far, and both of them have told me, and including a different epileptologist in the EMU where I was last year, that, oh, it doesn't matter if you had epilepsy when you were a child, you can still have psychogenic seizures now. And they don't even look at the previous history. And I don't have those medical records or anything. I mean, that was years ago. So I don't know. You know, after a while, you kind of start questioning. You don't believe it, but then after a while, you're like, well, if these people who have so much knowledge and they've studied these things, if they're telling me this, then maybe there's something to it. And I just want to feel better. I don't really care what it is.
Yeah. I just want to share something, Nikki. I went through the same thing. My epilepsy was diagnosed by a family physician when I was 7. I went through my life unmedicated, untreated, but I was the girl with the bad attitude and the bad temper that always passed out or went hiding in closets, things like that. Looking back, I know that that was epilepsy. I didn't get my clinical diagnosis until I was 46 because I collapsed at work from a seizure and I went directly into status epilepticus because those symptoms that my doctors were telling me to ignore were cluster seizures. And given the history of having epilepsy, known epilepsy in your childhood, don't feel like they don't know that. There are certain medical records that are permanent in universal systems. Your drug records, for one, that's all they have to look at. And they can see that whatever medication you took when you were 10 years old. So, and then the other thing I want to share is if those epileptologists were at a accredited epilepsy center, they are required to treat psychogenic non-epileptic seizures, and they are required to have the staff to do that, which includes the psychologist, the psychiatrist, and the therapists. And if they don't have that, then they're not meeting the regulations to maintain the accreditation of a national epilepsy center. So just a few things that I learned because I had a well-supported clinical diagnosis, and I moved to a new city, a new healthcare network, and they're like, you don't have epilepsy, you have psychogenic, non-epileptic seizures. And I'm like, that may be true, but I have epilepsy. And then they went so far as to say, yes, you do have epilepsy, but the seizures you're having are not epileptic. And that caused a lot of other health issues for me. So I had to advocate a little harder for myself and do the research. And that's why I'm sharing that.
Thank you.
There is a way to solve this. And honestly, I'm not a doctor. I didn't finish school. We have other med students here. And even if we were licensed, we can't give medical advice. But just from a personal basis, many of us know that childhood epilepsies can go into a recession and then evolve again when we're older. So it isn't unusual. And for 2 epileptologists to just brush you off and say, no, and I don't know what kind of EEG you had. There are several types. My epileptologist that I just started seeing 9 months ago, he talked to me about MEG. It's a magnetic encephalogram, which it's completely non-invasive, and it measures the magnetic fields that are created by the electrical impulses in your brain. And it's being studied more and more. It's not readily available, but it's worth looking into. Or even just going to an epilepsy center and giving them the same story you just gave us and say, I'm not comfortable and I don't agree that this is just psychogenic, and I'm concerned about whatever, whatever problems this could be causing that we could be preventing. And,
Yeah.
that you would like a more proper and accurate diagnosis.
I did go to epilepsy center.
You did.
I guess that's why I feel like maybe there's something to it. I
Was that
had
within the last year, 12 months?
yeah, I
Okay.
the last EMU stay I had was in August of last year, and I was there for less than 24 hours because I had 14 episodes. You know, you press the button, they come in. My poor husband had to stay with me, which
Mhm.
I felt so bad for him because they don't really have like a comfortable space for your loved ones to stay. You know,
Oh,
he was just sitting on that hard bench bed
oh,
thing.
bless his heart.
Yeah, I didn't want to, and I told them, I said, I know I will have episodes right away. And I did. And then the resident or the doctor, the EMU doctor came in, the epileptologist, and he said, uh, who told you you were having seizures? And I said, well, I was kind of confused by that question. I'm like, I've just had them all my life. And he said, these are not epileptic seizures. These are um, psychogenic seizures.
Hmm.
Uh, and then they brought a therapist in, a psychologist in, to
Hmm.
talk to me about psychogenic seizures. They told me, you know, you can just go home. Like, there's no point in staying. Um, I was already kind of distraught because I got some really bad news while I was there from a family friend about her mom. Her mom was dying.
Mm.
And so I didn't feel like I had the mental um, strength to stay because I was already kind of discouraged, you know, that they were saying, well, you know, there's no point. You could stay if you want to, but there's no point in you staying.
That's,
So,
yeah.
yeah, we just left. But I don't
And,
have
and even,
convulsions.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So even with the PNES, I'm going to encourage you not to dismiss that, because there's several ways to explain that. I just
Hmm.
went through this in the last 5 years, and 2.5 years of therapy. I'm getting somewhere.
Hmm.
Um, the scientific explanation for continued psychogenic seizures that can evolve and look more like they're, or feel more like they're epileptic, is the pathways that are getting set up in your brain. And it can be like a memory, a PTSD element. And that's one explanation. The other explanation is actually physiological. The neurons are damaged along those pathways, and those neurons are going to fail in the same chain reaction. So either way you look at it, the sooner you stop those. And then the thing with untreated or inadequately treated focal seizures, those pathways are created over and over and more and more. And sometimes the only way to stop that is with treatment for epileptic seizures. And, you're in your 40s, I'm in my 60s, but I think as well as I do, having epilepsy as a child, they used to treat that right away and question it later. And they don't do that
Yeah.
anymore. And there's a trend, it's just a medical anomaly, a trend to say it's PNES. And 5 years ago, they almost killed me in saying, you don't have epilepsy. And they only gave me back one of my medications. So, it's like, so now we have to undo that damage.
Wow.
I didn't, you know, so I'm going to encourage you to either go to a different epilepsy center or report that doctor to your state health department. And you just go to your, like I would go to New York State Department of Health, and in that website, they'll show you, just look for patient rights, and it'll show you how to file a complaint. And because the National Association of Epilepsy Centers, which is the accrediting foundation, currently they do not have a patient advocacy program. So patients cannot directly report something like this. So they recommend that you report that doctor, that provider, to the state, and then that goes to that accrediting foundation for questioning. But never hesitate to report something that you feel, and I know you don't agree with this, and I don't blame you, but this is how I had to advocate for myself here and say, look, I know that you're wrong. I'm not doubting your knowledge, but your knowledge of my personal history may not be adequate. And if they're
Yeah.
not going to believe what you're telling them, you can tell the psychiatrist has words for that. And if their reality is different from everyone else's, there's a word for that too. So when a doctor pulls that stuff on me, I'm like, I've been in therapy for almost 4 years, and I learned a few definitions, and I'm seeing one right now. And that usually shuts them up instantly. And, either they won't talk to me at all, or they start telling me the truth. And it's as hard as it is, sometimes you really have to know that you're holding the aces, and those are some of the aces.
That's
So
tough.
yeah, I'd report it to the state and let them start that, because that will go right to the National Association of Epilepsy Centers. But yeah, I think you're right. I think they dumped you more than
They
once.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I didn't mention we did try Keppra. Um, when they said, I think these are seizures, and I went to the specialist. I had an EMU stay that was 3 days, and they didn't catch anything, but they said, let's try Keppra. And I was on Keppra for almost 5 years. I didn't get the Keppra or anything. What I got was, at first when I was on it, I immediately felt like, oh wow, my brain feels so clear. And I started taking on some things that I wasn't doing before, but it didn't work for that long. And so my doctor, I just stayed on it. They said, well, let's just stay on it. And we kept doing EEGs. The EEGs kept coming out normal. But the EEGs I was doing were like 30-minute ones. And then I did the at home EEGs. And after that, I just got off the Keppra this year with that last EMU stay. They were like, you can just stop taking it. It's not working. And my epileptologist said maybe it was like a placebo effect when I first started taking the Keppra.
And that's
So,
not unreasonable. Yeah, because it does take a few months. I was thinking, oh wow, you're one of the lucky ones, but when you said it didn't last, um,
no, it didn't. It lasted maybe for, I guess, a few months. After initially, I felt terrible, but once, my body got used to it, I was like, oh, wow, I can go outside now, because I was nervous all the time. Um, and I would not even go to the store by myself. But
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah,
I'm like that now. I mean, my daughter and I went out yesterday, and I'm running around Target, and all of a sudden I started to freak out. I literally had to stop because I had no idea where I was in the store. And I'm like, we're in the process of bringing my seizures back under control.
Mm.
And that's one of my absence, one of my focal awares where I all of a sudden I have no idea where I am. I'm totally confused. And
Wow.
and then I have this doc. I was just telling the group I absolutely love this doctor already because just in a few months he's recognizing the different seizures that I'm having by what I'm telling him, and he's explaining what I'm feeling to a T. And the one that he told me, we laughed about because he knows me. He said, this is called Alice in Wonderland, where things either seem really big and I feel really small, or the opposite, where I feel like I'm too big for the space and I get claustrophobic, or my stairs are too far away and I can't make it because 5 steps looks like 5 miles. So, and that's called Alice in Wonderland. And I love it because, if you get to know me, I am at Go Ask Alice. I'm Alice. Um, and it's really interesting because, my epilepsy evolved, especially after menopause.
Whoa, I didn't know that was Alice in Wonderland syndrome.
Yeah. And I
I
thought it was
get that at Walmart. It feels like the
exactly.
store is growing and growing and I'm getting
And
smaller.
and it happens at places like that more than anywhere else.
Yeah, I thought that was like some kind of anxiety
Well, yeah,
thing.
it creates an anxiety when it's like, whoa, and it only lasts a split second, but it's enough to make me feel like I have no idea how to get out of here. And
Yeah, I don't
it
go in the big
can't,
Walmart
yeah,
because
that's the
that happens every time.
right. And I didn't know that either. And he asked me, he's like, well, where does that happen? And I'm like, well, I've had it happen. Like, I mean, I don't do some of the things, like if I were at the fair or at a concert, I had it happen.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
I said, now it's just when I go shopping, I get that. And he just, yeah, um, yeah, like Walmart, Target, yeah. And it's just something about the open space, and it's almost like it disorganizes your brain. And the lights, I don't know what it is to put it all together, but that's what it's called. And I've had those, where I get lost and I'm just disoriented. But the Alice in Wonderland, those can happen anytime. That was the last time I decided to drive because I went through a stop sign because it was closer than I thought. And I was like, okay, I'm done. So, but there's explanation, there's a doctor that's going to understand you. Um, we just have to find it for her. But yeah.
Yeah, back to when she said that she was having focals and didn't know. I didn't want to cut her off, but I was having focals for 10 years before I found out they were focals, and I had to go to Reddit to find out they were actually focals. I didn't know I was having focal seizures. I thought grand malls were the only seizures until I went to Reddit.
So what are your can't get my words out. What are your focals like?
They're not like anything at the moment because I'm not having focals because I've been taking these B12 right here. But shout out to Nature Made. But anyway, the focals, they were like, let me explain. Mines were getting to a point to where I'm not sure if the focals were I was just blacking out and I was waking up other places and stuff. Or there was one, for instance, let's see, I got a couple stories for you. Trying to figure them out. So one, I blacked out and I was just kind of staring at this tree out of the window at my stepdad's house. And I'm staring at the tree and can't figure out exactly why I'm staring at the tree. Can't figure out why it's so interesting. I couldn't get my mind off it. My mind is racing. My stepdad's talking to me and I can't really make out what he's saying. And then I come out of it and all I heard was nachos. How's that sound? And I told them, I don't remember anything you said. I can hear you, but it reminded me of like being at a stadium and then everybody's screaming and you can't make out what no one is saying. That's what it sounded like. And that was one of them. That was a focal aware. A focal unaware, the ones I've had with those, I've wandered off into people's homes. So, yeah, got some wild stories. Or there was one time I had a focal unaware and I was in my room and I was thirsty. Next thing you know, I woke up. Well, I came to and I was pouring juice in a cup and the cup was overflowing on my hand and the counter and the floor and all that. So yeah, blacked out and woke up 20 miles from where I was supposed to be. All kinds of stuff. How are your focal unawares?
That's scary.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that I'm still not sure what they are, but I had this first. It started with like this feeling of like everything. It will always happen in the kitchen. I was preparing food and I would feel like heavy all of a sudden, like something was sitting on me. And then I would feel like a sensation like water was pouring down one side of my body. And at first, I would just look and see, is there water on my arm? And after a while, I was like, okay, maybe that's like just my weird body. Because, like I said, I've never really been normal, like,
None of us
so
have.
I just kind of ignored it. And then it kept getting worse where there was more symptoms. So it would get more intense. So it was like this heavy sensation. And then I started feeling like sort of numbness on the side of my face. And then I was like, oh no, I'm having a stroke or something. But then it would go away. And then over the years, it would start to cluster. And I got more and more symptoms to where it was like affecting my speech. So if someone came in while I was having one of those, I wouldn't be able to talk. I would just like, I could hear everything, see everything. I wasn't like frozen, but I just could not get my brain to talk. Like, you know, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but one time my mother-in-law, she was like screaming at me and I was trying to, so she thought I was having a seizure because they know I have a seizure history. So she was screaming at me like, "Are you okay?" And I was trying to tell her, "You're making it worse because I can't, I can't talk." Finally, my husband came in and told her, "It's like, just
I
wait
hate
a
that one.
second."
You make it
Everybody's
worse.
so used to it happening. They're like, "Just wait a second, she'll be fine." And so, that's kind of the way they look now. But afterwards, I have some trouble with my speech. It's usually like broken, like a few minutes ago it was, because I have a lot of these every day. And I have trouble walking, like my legs feel kind of weak. Um, and yeah, and then I have random other things like just twitching, but it'll just be in one body part, like my finger or my toe or like one part of my leg. And my lip twitches a lot when I get those. Um, and that's why I'm going to the neurologist next week because I was telling her about the twitching and she said, okay, let's make an earlier appointment. But yeah, that's my experience with those that I thought sounds like focal aware. Oh, because it starts with the stomach sensation, like the roller coaster stomach, and
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and these waves that just it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a warm feeling in my head, but it's not in my scalp. It feels like it's under my scalp and it goes like from the front to the back of my head. And sometimes it's so strong, it feels like I'm gonna fall over. Like it's just, they're really strong. So yeah, I feel crazy when I try to explain these things.
It's all right.
But at
It's
least you know
easier.
in this group, we know exactly what you're talking about.
Can I say too that when you go to your neurologist, I was recently diagnosed, like I have bad memory, but like 4 months ago seems to be the one number that sticks in my head, so I'm gonna assume it was 4 months ago or something. But I was battling trying to get a diagnosis for about, I mean, I think I've had seizures since I was like 10. I think I had my first one at 11. But only I know about it. And then they started getting worse as I got older. But they kept saying that it was PNES because I have mental health disorders. But I was like, there's no way that they can put it off as a mental health thing if I go to a neurologist because they got all the information, right? When you go to a neurologist, you want a seizure specialist. You want someone that can properly read an EEG because I learned the hard way after 8+ years of battling and trying to get a diagnosis and saying it was all in my head until having a seizure in the neurologist's office. My neurologist couldn't read my EEGs properly. So he just said it's something, he doesn't know what it is, but it's not anything he's ever really seen. So it's just PNES. But when I had the seizure and I in his office and I went to have a week-long EEG study at the University of Chicago with a seizure specialist, I asked him straight up if you guys could read that I have because I have myoclonic epilepsy and generalized epilepsy. And if you guys could see straight off the bat without me having a grand mal seizure, why couldn't the other, you know, neurologist see that? And it's like this younger kid and the other neurologist looks like he's been in it for years and whatever, and the kid looks so disappointed having to say this to me, but he's like, it takes an extra year of schooling to properly read an EEG and to properly read other forms of epilepsy, or else they will just throw you off to the side and be like, I don't know. I haven't seen it because I didn't take that extra year of schooling. So make sure you have one that is a seizure specialist and that can properly read those EEGs. And if you can get a hold of your EEGs and try and find somebody that can properly read them, that is a seizure specialist. Seizure specialist is a very big term here, not neurologist, seizure specialist. To read those, they will properly diagnose you. A neurologist is like your baseline for epilepsy, kind of. It's kind of just like your primary care physician to me. Is like a neurologist is just like a primary. Yeah, epileptologist.
Yeah, epileptologist. Yeah, I have yes, you do want to go to an epileptologist. In my case, it's a little bit different. I've been to 2 epileptologists and they're far from where I live, so I wound up finding a local neurologist, but that was only because, like I said, I got dumped. But I don't know. I think my case is not that straightforward, and so they don't really know what to do with me.
That's
But
fair.
I am gonna try the therapy. I actually went to a psychiatrist. Well, this was interesting. I want to share this because it might help someone. But when I went to my neurologist, um, She first did my blood levels, and she found out that I had a thiamine deficiency, and it was so low it wasn't even registering on the test. And so she told me to supplement with B6, and I supplemented, and like within 2 days, I started, some of the things went away, the recent things that I was going through, because I was feeling like really shaky all the time. And I went to my psychiatrist. This was only the second appointment. They wanted to put me on some sort of medication for depression and anxiety. I was there for the psychogenic seizures, and I was trying to explain that. And he they said, well, we really only prescribe medication, so like what would you like medication for? So so I was like, well, I'm not depressed and I'm not anxious. I don't think I'm anxious. I'm definitely not depressed. I'm going through these neurological things and I'm looking for help with that. And he was like, well, how do you feel since your last appointment? And I said, well, actually, I feel better because I found out that I had a vitamin deficiency and that helped with some things. And he's like, well, okay, so come back when you feel like you need some medication. And what was weird is he had the doctor, because I guess he was like I don't know what his role was, but he had to have another person come in and approve, I guess, what he did. So she came in and she said, B6 deficiency. That's interesting. I've never heard of that before. And I was like, oh, you've never heard of that before? She's like, She she acted like she was suspicious of me. I'm not sure what that was about, but um, she said, so you're okay with that? Like you're not going to pursue anything else to try to figure out what's going on with you? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know how to get help. Like, where do I go next? And so they told me I have to go to a therapist, um, and the therapist will help me with the psychogenic seizure, if that's what I have.
Yeah, I wanted to, like I said, I don't like tuning in when you're talking, but back to the jerking and stuff. Um, I get that in my cheek time to time. It doesn't usually lead to anything, but I just notice it's kind of weird. And my right shoulder kind of jumps out of time to time, and I notice that more than other times. I mean, other than other parts. That's how I figure that out. And tapping my knee, I notice I'll start tapping my knee because it already jumped, and then it'll just turn into a tapping. That's happened to me a few times, and I just laughed at it because I understand what my chronic jerks are now. Um,
Mm, I have those too, but my epileptologist saw me have. Thankfully, I don't have a lot. I have them like every 2 months or so, and it'll be a lot, and then they'll just go away. But he said when I had one in the office, he said that doesn't look like a seizure, and I was like, okay. I don't know what it was, but I thankfully I don't have a lot of them.
um, yeah, I want to keep the attention on you and have you keep explaining. Let's get started. Um,
Another good thing that you mentioned about all the symptoms that your seizures present with is that's an indication of the part of the brain where maybe the seizures are starting. The facial nerve is really deep in the brain, and that could be an indication why maybe some of these EEGs aren't picking up on it because when the only like focal point of a seizure is so deep in the brain, sometimes it doesn't. That's when they need the more invasive kinds. That's the kind I had to get approved for the surgery. So good job
okay,
of keeping track.
got the icebreaker. It's for everybody. So when you hear it, get your answer ready because I'm coming for you. What's the best trick with epilepsy that you use to elevate your life? I used Rick's answer, and he said smoke weed, and that pretty much said it all. Yeah, helps me get by. Sometimes it helps me just be calm. Yes, I'm addicted. Yeah, it's like an NA meeting. My name is Danielle. I am addicted to marijuana. Um, so
But in
yeah,
your case, it's I'm not looking to stop. In
right.
AA, you know damn well it's not like that.
I will never try to drink my water when you're talking, Pookie. I will never do that again.
I try to keep it funny just a little bit, keep everybody smiling a little bit, you know. Come on, you guys. Me and Jeff already answered. Weed. Weed
Yeah,
was the
you two
best
got
thing.
the easy answer. That's what's up.
Yeah. So either
All
you
right,
guys
making
did.
epilepsy positive. My answer will be finding other things to focus on or using what I know about my epilepsy to help others.
I focus on weed.
And
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. It's got to be the advocacy. What was the question again?
what do you do with epilepsy? Something to help elevate your quality of life.
Yeah, it's the advocacy. Finally realizing that most of my life was boot camp for something like this. After being involved in cannabis legalization, and meeting the challenges that we face with that right now, I'm like, okay, now we're just going to show them all what we're made of. And that's the positive side. It's definitely given me that passion, and I can say, look, I have epilepsy. This is how I used cannabis, and this is how I still use it. And this is what's happening in the epilepsy community right now. And we don't like it. This whole PNES garbage bag diagnosis should be made illegal by the American Medical Association. Working on it, okay? Working on it.
Lufa?
I'm sorry, I was muted. What?
Something you did to elevate your quality of life.
My Klonopin and my weed has been my saving grace for ever. The second the myoclonic jerk started at 12, I started smoking weed, and the only time I have a tea break is when I go to the hospital. But which again is probably the easy answer, but it has the advocating for my Klonopin and being aware that I'm smoking weed to, or eating it, or however, to not always get baked, but to just function, is something that people don't always understand. Like my family. One hit is not going to make me stoned. I have been smoking for years, so it's just going to kind of chill
I'm
me.
smoking longer than you've been born.
I think that I like that I have something that I'm good with personal experiences, especially after receiving ECT. So I like that I have something that I can be knowledgeable and educated in. even without going to school, and kind of educate other people. And it's always nice kind of to see them be like, oh, wow, you're so smart. Like, okay, yeah, like, probably because I have it, but okay, maybe you don't look into your own stuff, but I do. I like to hyperfixate on it, so it's just something that I like to advocate for, and that and the mental health community, I like that the PNES thing has happened. I don't like that it's happening, but I like that I have been in that situation, and I grew up in the psych ward basically, so I have a very big insight on these two conditions of how these things interact, and it's very eye-opening, and it helps with it's helped me with learning things as well after ECT, so it's been good in some ways.
Well, just to recognize because you deserve it, having to mature at such a young age due to epilepsy is no small feat, and you handled it very well.
Thank you. That is epilepsy is not a small feat at all.
Exactly. And having to mature and handle it the right way.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
now you're not knocked up and married to some idiot. So good job. Don't just jump into the arms of anybody who says they can fix this for you. You're all
Oh,
right.
and to Nikki, I don't think I have psychogenic seizures. I think that I have either, and I wrote it down in my epilepsy journal. If you don't have one, keep one because our memories are bad usually. Focal versus disassociation. How do I differ? How do I know if I'm disassociating or if I'm having focal seizures? That's something that I struggle with a lot in my experience with my psychiatrist and my neurologist, or seizure specialist. That's my easiest way of saying it. Because I think that I have little focal seizures here and there. But I also just disassociate a lot, where I just zone out. I'm not here. I've always done that, especially coming from the home that I came from. It was a big part of like coping. So, I think that maybe the psychogenic focal seizures, maybe, um, but it's not necessarily like I am cutting out oxygen to my brain or anything. It's more just like my brain is empty. I'm not here, you're not here, and everything around me is blank. I don't really know what's going on. Which sounds like a seizure, but it doesn't feel like a seizure. If that makes sense, it feels more like I'm just disassociating, um, to protect myself. So I do it a lot when I'm around my family, um, and stuff like when I go out to the store, um, whenever I leave the house, certain places, I just find myself, certain conversations, I just naturally just gravitate out of. And you can get an answer out of me sometimes, but most of the time it's just kind of flat affect, deadpan, not much to be said because I'm not really there with you and I don't really want to be. So I'm not sure, but I'm okay with having my myoclonic seizures and the generalized ones taken care of because those are the ones that the myoclonic especially were the ones that I was really, really struggling with. FND, focal non-dependent. Wait, focal. I can figure this out. Focal non-dissociation. FNAF.
Functional neurological disorder?
Yeah, I basically said that.
That was your next word.
Basically said that. Yeah, that might be it. I've been doing that since I was a kid because of PTSD. So I think that it's a mix, so I can't blame everything on the epilepsy. Some of it is psychological, which is fine. Whatever. What I have been looking into is the it's in the back of your head. It's like right on the back of your head if you feel the back of your head.
Occipital.
Yes, the occipital bone. Mine has always like protruded out, kind of. Um, when I shaved my head for the first time, I like found myself bumping over it, and I was like, "Ow!" But whenever I touch it, it feels like a bruise, or it feels like there's something like it's uncomfortable. And so I've been looking into that recently and seeing how that could be related to some things. But from what I've read, it doesn't really match with me specifically when it comes to the epilepsy side of the occipital bone. But I don't know. They also say that people coming into the new age have more, because of the way that we look down, we're growing like an extra bone, but I don't really do that. And mine has always hurt ever since I was a kid. Like ever since I've touched it, it just feels like it's a bruise. Um, and I feel like it gets bigger some days and then it gets smaller some days. So I have no idea what that is. But I'm looking into that, and if anyone knows anything, any of you know anything, if anyone knows anything, that would be great because it's bothering me. And
Yeah.
I think that the more that I bring up stuff that bothers me to my mom, the more that my mom doesn't want to deal with it anymore. So I'm feeling like I'm a little on my own now, which is fine.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Google Chiari malformation, but my guess is you would have been diagnosed with that by now. But it isn't unusual to not have that diagnosed till you're an adult. I put it in the chat. It's spelled, I believe, CHIARI malformation. And that's pretty much is what you would start feeling as an adult. Because there's a change of pressure in your cerebral spinal fluid. And yeah, we have another member that has that. She's just not here right now.
Well,
But
it's Chiari
Chiari. Yeah. But yeah.
malformation. Yeah, because when I was born, my first ever given, well, I was a C-section, because I tried to come out my mom's other end, because I'm the shit. So, um, uh, they had to like force me out of her because I didn't want to come out. I still never want to come out. I wish I never came out. So I was a C-section baby, and my head was perfectly like round and huge. So my first ever nickname was Big Head, or Big Bead. So my mom calls me Big Head or Big Bead because my cranium is just like large. Like my cranium is just big. I just have a big head. And yeah, and I'm just like, but I always noticed that like the bump on the back of my head just always felt weird, and I had my grandpa feel it the other day, and my mom, because I'm like, everyone has a bone in the back of their head. Like everyone has a protruding bone, right? Like this is normal. But wouldn't more people be talking about how it hurts if it was so normal? So I was like, "Can you guys just like touch this and tell me?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it feels kind of weird." And my grandpa's like, "That's really large, Tootsie. You should probably get that checked out as soon as possible. That's huge." And I'm like, "Thank you for not sugarcoating it, Papa. That was so nice." I'm like, I was like,
Yeah.
he's like, "I have a bone in the back of my head, but not that big." And I was like, "Oh, okay,
Wow.
okay, all right."
Get that checked, girl. Get that checked.
Yeah,
Do they know why you have epilepsy?
no. No, because I don't have, so it's just me and my mom. I don't know my dad at all, so I don't know his medical history at all, which sucks. Because besides not getting any child support at all, could I at least have the medical history? Which I'm sure he doesn't even know, because he's an idiot. But uh, yeah, I have no idea. My great or my great grandmother, something like that. She had really bad migraines, but never seizures, I guess. And um, I have really bad migraines. We always thought I got that from her. The really bad migraines. I'm really pale. Uh, I have really weak ligaments, or tendons. I have tendonitis in my wrist. Um, and my shoulders and knees pop out of their sockets, and so does my thumb. So I've always just kind of been like a weird little medical mystery. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the back of my head, but it is bothering me that it happens. It just bothers me because I feel it, and sometimes even without touching it, I feel it. And I feel like at this point, because there's so much going on in my body all the time, like people think I'm making things up for attention, or like they just don't want to, like my mom just probably doesn't want to. She's always like, "I don't want to do any more medical stuff. I'm tired of all the and I get it, like I'm tired too. um but ignoring it is not gonna make me feel any better. Like my ankle is, I'm pretty sure I sprained my ankle, and just because my mom is so tired of, medical bills and going to the doctor, we've just been putting it off. And so now my toe is like in a lot of pain too. Um and I just wish it was easier to get help, but I don't know. But I'm gonna look into that malformation because that's probably it. Because my mom said that, my mom said something about holding me when she was younger to make sure that my head wasn't like, you know how some of those you get cradle, some of those kids have like cradle syndrome, cradle head syndrome, whatever. Shaken, or no, not shaken baby syndrome. But where they've been held in one spot too long or something or whatever, or lay down too long, a flat back of your head. Um, I didn't have that, but I just have this bump and it hurts. And it doesn't hurt today, but the last 2 days it was in a lot of pain. So I don't know. But I'm gonna look into that. Thank you, Annie. Sorry, I'm gonna zip my lip.
Um, back to the what's it called, icebreaker. I think the only answer we did not get was Nikki.
I forgot the question.
Me too. No, yeah, I did. Um, it's all right to forget. 'Cause
Okay.
I forget everything. Um, the question was, what is your best trick to elevate your quality of life?
Oh yeah. I love to read the Bible. Gives me comfort. And my family, I have two teenage sons, and I love that my family my sons and my husband, they just treat me like a normal person. When I was growing up with epilepsy, people kind of treated me like glass. But in my family, they're like, okay, just wait a few minutes, mom be all right. And my one of my sons, he'll come over and like put his arm around me, or yeah. So it's my family, and I like doing art, like painting and drawing.
I like art too. I was just doing some arts and crafts. Love it. It's peaceful. With epilepsy, you have to have a support system and you have to have hobbies, something you like doing other than just existing. Oh, I'm looking at my phone. It's in my hand. Start with the first question I found. We usually go through these and just need you guys to have some advice to help this person I'm reading it for if they see it. It says, insensitive or not. I took a screenshot of the DMV letter that is coming in the mail today and sent it to a close friend. It is a letter that states if I can keep my driver's license or not. I talk to this person every day. I asked him to keep me in his thoughts, and this is how the conversation went. Me. This is a motor vehicle decision letter that is coming in the mail about my driver's license. Keep me in your thoughts today. Him. Keep you in your thoughts. This can be a great teaching moment. Calm down, any worrying, and feel the results in your favor. Feel green, and it will be so. I feel like keep me in your thoughts is to be insensitive and dismissive. He said, I took the wrong way, but I blocked his number, at least temporary. Am I wrong? I feel like most people don't understand how much seizure disorder and other associated disorders affect your life to have this that comes along with it. Anything on that, you guys? Someone.
I mean, is it just me, or did it sound like they were kind of downplaying their own condition? Maybe I
thought that
didn't hear
too.
it good enough.
I thought the same, but I don't want to say the person was kind of. So. I would say, like my sister. Oh no, that's the worst. That's not a good explanation. Sometimes I don't know, I don't have a word for this person that sounds nice, or sounds like good advice. So I'll move forward. It says, are these bite marks going to be permanent? I have bite marks on the inside of my cheeks. I can't tell when they are fresh or not because they're always there now. They don't even hurt. They just permanent indentations on the inside of my cheek from biting while asleep. This sounds like nocturnal seizures. I know. That's what it says. Anyone got anything to tell this person that the bite marks are going to go away? There was times where I felt like those bite marks weren't going anywhere.
I mean, the bite marks go away for me, but not the skin tags, the little pieces of what it felt like I bit through. So there's more. They're always closer to the molars in the back of my mouth, and yeah, they're
Is
not
that what
going
it
anywhere at
is?
this point.
Is that what it is? I was
That's what it is for
like, what is
me.
this little lining inside of my cheek? I always thought it was just because like I suck in my cheeks sometimes because I have like a round face. But after I started having seizures, they really started like these lines like were just like in my cheeks, and I was like, what the hell?
No, and the one from Wednesday right now, I can tell it's still not a scar, so that one might go away. So you can, after a while, get to tell. That's the easiest way of knowing what happened and not
Do
have
you
to tell anybody or ask any questions.
do you guys have a lot of dental work?
I need some dental work because I fell into a hole and I chipped my front tooth, but I don't
Oh,
have it often. Yeah, I had a
yeah.
seizure. I was digging a hole for a foundation to a patio.
Oh
Got about
no.
2 feet deep and I fell in it.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry.
So I just spent some time. Thankfully,
Mm.
made it through to hear enough to tell the story.
Mm. Yeah, really.
I've been
That's
through
not a
a lot.
little fall.
No, it wasn't. Been through worse though. Yeah, it was not a little fall.
That tunnel just collapsed though, didn't it? Could have been. Thank God it wasn't something like that.
Right. Um, got something else. Says, do seizures cure depression or relieve it temporary? So for 4 days, I had my first grand mal seizure since December 2029. I mean, 2019. And it was my longest one yet. Thankfully, I haven't experienced any challenges after it. But I noticed that my depression is gone. I've been having mental struggles for about 7 months now and have contemplated after my seizure. I was confused and paranoid for half an hour. And since I live in the mountains, it took more than an hour to receive medical attention from the ambulance. Unlike my other 4 seizures, this one did not compromise any bodily functions. I have recovered from my effects of my previous seizure. In fact, I have been feeling a lot happier and haven't felt sad since. They have started me on levetiracetam, Keppra. I think I said it right that right time. But I found no info regarding it as an antidepressant. I think I'm not saying that it was good that I had a seizure, but I think I restored the chemical balance in my brain. I don't know. I only got out of that seizure with an injured tongue and nothing more. I have not seen any therapist or received any antidepressants. I'm finding this quite odd. The question was, do seizures cure depression or relieve it temporary? Not for me, uh, personally. All my depression's still there.
I wouldn't assume that any mental condition would help epilepsy because it sounds like stress is a trigger for more people than helpful.
Rest
Maybe he was
and
having auras.
oh, sorry.
Come again?
Maybe the poster was having auras like that were leading up to a seizure and they thought it was depression.
That's a good one. Lufa, you had something?
Stress will and can kill you. It causes those uh aneurysms and stuff due to such high stress. People's bodies can't take it, even without disorders. If too much stress is put on the body, it goes into a natural um, defense mechanism with your nervous system and everything, and it can eventually lead to you developing something or it just outright taking you out. Too much stress can be very dangerous for oneself, especially if you're younger or older or any age.
Um,
Or if you have
AJ, did
kids,
you have something?
kids are stressful. I don't even have them.
Oh yeah, it can be that much. It can be a lot of times, I'd say. One of the responses to that was this happened to me after my first tonic-clonic. It was a bad one, and I had a pretty bad case of amnesia after. I've struggled with depression for a long time, but after that seizure, I just felt lighter, more interested in things, more chatty. I felt like a better version of myself that lasted for about 4 weeks, and then I felt myself again. I've had a couple more tonic-clonics since and lots of focals, but haven't had that happen again. Then the person said, damn, so this is temporary. At least I'm going to get a break from worrying. The other person responded, it was for me. It was very pronounced, though. Like I had friends to talk with, to talk each other about it. Have you noticed she's way more bubbly? That's what someone said to her. That's just me, though. Everyone is a different. Maybe yours will be longer or more permanent. Brains are weird. So it's not uncommon. Got another one. Flying alone with focal awareness seizures. Safe or no? Looking for advice on whether it would be safe for my mother-in-law, 73-year-old, to travel alone by plane, even though she still has focal onset seizures. This was diagnosed later on in life with epilepsy. We've been on a medication journey for the past year. While her nighttime seizures have stopped, she still has focal onset seizures. I'm a STAHM, and we live together for her safety. I'm not certain how often it happens. I tend to witness a focal seizure at least once every other day. Other than epilepsy, she is very independent and takes care of herself and helps out around the home. She wants to fly out of state to visit some friends. I want her to travel and have fun, yet I'm worried about her being in potentially dangerous situation when a focal awareness seizure may happen. They're pretty quick and last just a few seconds, followed by a couple minutes of disorientation, but then she seems to be okay. What do you think? What would you advise against traveling alone? Or is the risk low? She doesn't drive or swim, but she would be walking through the airport and taking connecting flight all by herself. I need some insight.
Mm.
I take a plane, but I was irresponsible about it, and I just wanted to get away from home, so I left one side of the country and went to the other side of the country on a plane before everyone seen my post on Instagram that I was in Atlanta on a layover.
I have BPD and bipolar 1, so I make very impulsive decisions. And after my cat passed away, I flew to California. I flew to Texas. I don't even know how I got to these places. I had my cat with me somehow.
Wow.
I have no
Wow.
idea how I did this. Um, thank God I had a real friend in California, which we know can be hard to find real people out there. But she's a very real friend, and she's like, you need to go home because you're gonna get stuck on the streets if you stay here. And this is not the life for you. You need to be more responsible with your health. And she was like, she was going full like mother mode on me. And of course, at that time, I was like, oh, you're just being me. You're just whatever. Like, but she really did save my life from ending up on the streets of California and LA, and because that's where I was, and it's really brutal out there. And I think just making sure that that person has people around them that are looking out for them. Uh, and this was before I was even diagnosed with epilepsy, and she was already like taking my health into full perspective. So to make sure that you're, I kind of forgot the full post, but I think it was their child, their daughter, to make sure that they are with people who are responsible. Even if, because my friend that's responsible is um like a street worker sometimes, or she works at the clubs and stuff, and they have like a natural people naturally think that they're really not mature and irresponsible, and they can be really devious and really rude, but there are a lot of them that are really smart. So just to make sure that whoever you're sending them out, to go out with is responsible, is does have good intentions for them, wants to see them for the right reasons, um, and is aware of their health condition, and that they are also putting their health first as they go. But just because you have epilepsy doesn't mean that you should completely restrict yourself to staying in one state, in one place, in one country at all the time. You can still travel, you can still go on a trip, you can still, you can still do these things. It's a little extra work, but um I plan on going to New York soon, and I plan on visiting my friend in California again, and I'll do that by myself. And I've been an unaccompanied minor when I was little, so flying back and forth from New Jersey to Illinois. So I got flying under my belt, but the staff on the flight is also trained um, or they should be trained um, for any medical emergency happening on the flight. So so if you're having a seizure or something on a flight, the staff, unless you're not training your staff for your commercial flights, which would be very odd, they should know what to do. They should have proper training.
Well, that kind of changed my perspective. Started out thinking an older relative in their 70s, I would have them listen to their own doctor, a professional, somebody who might be able to kind of reason with them from their perspective. But after all that, yeah, I might feel guilty afterwards if they really wanted to go on a trip. If it happened to be my mother and she really wanted to go somewhere but just couldn't do it by herself. Yeah, I think just accompanying whoever needs the company might be the way to go.
Yeah, also the thing with flying, I was real irresponsible, and it was actually cool though. It was just like once everyone did feel like, find out I was on a plane on a layover, they started explaining to me things to do on my next flight, which I was already had my plans. I was calm. I ate the right amount a day. I drank. I take my pills. Made sure I did everything right leading up to that moment, and I made it from one coast to the tri-state. Yeah, so flying hasn't been a thing for me. I never thought of like, is there doctors on this plane? That never came to mind. But yeah, now I have a bracelet, and I also used it when I went to the concert a few days ago. Perfect way to get in things where they don't pat you down too much, and no metal detectors. Not that I was planning to take anything, but bracelet gets you through that point. She was like, "This is for disabled people." I was like, "I'm disabled. Got my bracelet. The first time I was able to use it." Yeah, I was like, "Yeah." You was trying to tag me down because I look like I don't have epilepsy. But yeah, um, got in with my bracelet. Luffy, you got something?
I just wanted to say too, like I've been swimming recently because I used to be a competitive swimmer, and typically you don't see people with epilepsy swimming or taking a bath. But I have been, um, yesterday I swam a mile in a little under an hour, which was 36 laps, of freestyle and butterfly, and I even got some really nice compliments from the older folks saying like, were you on a team? Like, you have such a good stroke. You're so good at it. You're fast. Like, you're doing good. And I'm working to try and get a mile in maybe 45 minutes. I'm trying to work to get there. Right now I'm at 57. So I'm 9 minutes down from my last one, from my first one, which is really good actually. And I just have to teach myself how to properly breathe in the water again and stuff. But I did have a day where it's been 5 days I've been going now. And I've only been doing the mile, marking that mile thing for the past two sessions, because for the first three I was just kind of getting used to the water again and reteaching myself how to do a flip turn and breathe in the water and how to properly hold my body in the water, because it is a full body workout and it's very strenuous on your body. I was going to go today, but I'm really sore. Technically I did do 5 days and I do want to take that rest period that my body needs. So but I think that if you're comfortable in an area of doing something, like I'm comfortable swimming. I know how to swim. I know when to get out of the water if I'm starting to feel like I just can't get through it anymore. Like if I keep going, like I know I can push myself, but there's a point where I'm like, okay, I have epilepsy. I write epilepsy with a Sharpie on my arm. I have an epilepsy at somewhere, but I have an epilepsy band that I wear on my ankle, and most of the times that I'm in the pool, there are other people in the pool as well. Not that they would know what to do, but they can barely get through the water, but it's okay. I take the proper precautions, and I just think that when you build up the comfort and the confidence to do something that you know that you are good at and that you can do again, then you should totally go for it. Like I know that I can fly. Maybe like a little couple months ago, if I were to get on a flight, I would probably jump off the flight. But I know now that I could probably fly in like a month or two if I wanted to. I could, I think in like 5 months, if I'm doing better, eventually go skydiving, because that's something that I want to do. I think that in about a year I'll be able to go to festivals again. And it seems like a long time, but it's realistic. And right now I'm starting off with swimming. And I think that not putting, sorry if this is off topic a little bit, but I think that having epilepsy, you naturally just start to put restrictions on yourself. And you just start being, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. Because what if? But, also like, what if you enjoy that? What if your body really likes that? My body really likes to swim. My body loves it. If I hop on a treadmill, I have a seizure. If I hop in the water, my body is like, yes, this is where I belong. I am a dolphin. So, it's really, again, working with your body and not against it. And what the fuck? And it's a mental and physical thing that you have to listen to, both mentally what you're comfortable with and physically what you're comfortable with. Mentally, I would love to run on the treadmill really fast. I would love to be one of those girls that can just like, you can't catch me, but I can't. But if I were in the water, you can't catch me. So that's fine with me. And I'm building a little bit of muscle very slowly. So a very, very slow muscle, but I'm sore. Very sore.
But it's better than seizure sore.
It is, but oh my gosh, any
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Highlight that. Highlight that. Very much better.
So Nick, you
With
mentioned the lights. Go ahead.
go ahead, Kate.
Aren't you afraid of like drowning? I mean, 2 years ago, I did a front flip in the water and I landed on my face. And it caused me to have a seizure inside of the water, under the water,
How deep was it?
How
almost
deep was the
drowning.
water?
Can you repeat?
How deep was the water?
I don't know in the feet. I don't use the
You can tell us
metric
meters.
system you use.
Meters.
Maybe like 10 meters
Oh.
deep.
Oh, how did you flip that?
And I jumped from like a platform
So you
that
hit
was
your head.
like 5 meters high.
So I'm guessing when you were going into the front flip, when you were turning, you hit your head on the wall, on the sidewall.
I did 2 front flips and I got lost in the middle and landed on my face. And that caused me to have a seizure. So this is my question. Aren't you afraid like maybe when you hit the water in a wrong way that it might cause you a seizure and you're not able to get out of the water?
I don't know what kind of swimming you do specifically.
I did professional swimming competition. I was a professional swimmer for 10 years.
Not diver, not free dive or anything. Swim
No,
like to breaststroke, freestyle, butterfly.
yeah, I did
Oh,
a 400 meters.
yeah, the 800, the 400, 500. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, no, I guess I'm not. No, I guess I'm not afraid of drowning. The amount of times that I have accidentally sucked in the water and I'm like in there, I'm like, oh my God. And it's in my nose, and then my eyes start to water up and burn. It's in my cranium, and I'm like, there's water in my and I'm like, ah. But no, I also am taking it slow right now because I am teaching myself how to properly breathe in the water. And I'm going easy on the flip turns because that was never my strong suit. And I find that they take a lot of energy out of me when I do a flip turn. Um, I don't mind them. They're just not. I have like a bad. I'm not good with distance.
you're like doing the classic front flip under the water.
Yeah, sometimes I do. When I'm doing freestyle, I'll do a classic front flip and then turn and put my head back, to the side and breathe, and then keep going. When I'm doing other strokes, though, I just grab the wall and then turn, like as you normally would, or almost kind of like as a child's competition would, where they just where they don't know how to flip turn yet, so they just hit the water and immediately turn around.
In child competition, you have to turn normally, not with the front flip. I
Well,
mean, in
for some,
European competition, we were obligated to do a front flip.
well, here when the kids were doing it, like the 7-year-olds and stuff, when they would do little swims, they weren't like required to do a flip turn. When you get older, you were, but then my epilepsy started getting bad, so I stopped doing swimming a while ago. And it's been about 8, 10, 7, 6, something like that years. It's been a while since I've gotten in the water, but no, I'm not afraid of drowning. I guess if it happens, it happens. Kind of like me with the jet ski. If I fly off the jet ski and something happens, it happens. But at least I'm enjoying myself for doing something. I would rather drown than, have a have a pseudo episode where I'm in my bed.
Did you
Uh,
guys see that post this week? Somebody said I would rather die while living than live while dying.
Yes.
no.
That's what that brings to mind. All your anecdotes, that's what that brings to mind.
I like that, Lufa. You got a timeline. He was like, I'm gonna do this in this amount of time, and I'm gonna do this within 8 months and stuff like that. Yeah, like I plan on skydiving too. I think we said that a while back.
Yeah, because it's like right now I know it's just not realistic. Financially not realistic, physically not realistic. Mentally I would love to go skydiving right now, but I just can't right now, you know. So I think being realistic is a really
I'm
big
pretty sure you won't get the approval.
what?
You won't get approval for
To go
skydiving if you.
No. No.
I'm gonna
You have
try.
to.
Sure,
No,
gonna try.
just do it. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna get approval from your doctor to go swimming," and the next day I came in, I didn't even ask if there was approval from my doctor. I don't need approval to go swimming. If
I
I'm
mean, yeah, for
I'm-
swimming it's another thing, but for skydiving it's way more serious because if you have a seizure during the fall, they are responsible for your life.
Right.
well,
It's not your
Those waivers are the first
choice.
thing they throw in your face too.
yeah, that's why I would sign something because if I have a seizure while I'm going down, I'd like to let them know like it's not your fault. It won't be your fault. You're good.
Right.
You are good. I would
Yeah, but
love to sign
I'm saying
something. I
this
would
if
film something.
I'll be
link
an
it. I'm
instructor.
not going to
I
restrict
don't think I
myself.
want to have a person wrapped around me seizing. I mean, nobody will.
Someone might not, but you would let the person know before skydiving, hey, I have epilepsy. They would throw that waiver in your face, if they're comfortable, and you would sign it. There's a lot of times when you have people that professionally skydive and do that. A lot of people pass out while they're skydiving, so they're
Yeah,
not.
but
It's
it's
not
a
something that
different
they're not
thing.
used to. It's something that they're actually more used to, I think, because people do pass out while skydiving and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
but the passing is not dangerous. It's not like it might kill you.
Passing out
Seizure,
is very dangerous. It can
it
be.
might,
I was
because he
thinking
has
that
to
like
take
when
care
I
of you to not choke, and he has to land with both of you. So it's kind of more serious.
that's what I planned on doing, like going with somebody a few times and then one time just be like, okay, I got the hang of this. I can do this. I didn't plan on just going my first time and
I'm
jumping out
not
the
going by
plane.
myself. I'm gonna be strapped onto someone that knows what they're doing so that I can
Yes.
enjoy it. But for me and my how I am, I think I know that my epilepsy won't react to that like that. Um, my epilepsy doesn't react to concerts or flashing lights. So I've been in uh, cars going 150 miles an hour, and I didn't even realize it. I have jumped from high places. I do impulsive things a lot. So things that do get my epilepsy going is like the heat or coordination. Um, like trying to do a TikTok
Yeah, me too.
something I always say, like trying to do a TikTok dance will have me firing off signals everywhere because I can't do choreography. Can't drive.
So
But
this
there's
is
things
a testament that
I
adrenaline is
do.
not your trigger.
So being aware and knowing what you can and can't do is a good thing. So if you think that you can't um go skydiving because of your epilepsy, then don't go skydiving. I think that I can go skydiving. I think that I can handle it. I think my epilepsy can handle it, and I know that
Yeah, I'm
so I would.
I'm aware, but my point of view was you might want, but the people who are involved in this might not want.
But what I'm saying is that's why there's a waiver, and that's why they have an option to say yes or no. They have an option to decline, and they have an option to accept, knowing the consequences. There's also a lot of those times those Make-A-Wish kids like sign up to do something crazy. And they have some like eating at them that's gonna like take away their life. And those people are doing it knowing that this could possibly end up badly, but at least they were doing something that they enjoyed while doing it.
Yeah, I say you can't let your restrictions like hold you from doing
Yeah.
things. You gotta maybe try as much as possible if it's really something you want to do. Um,
Yeah.
except for driving, I don't suggest. But other
No.
than that, like your restrictions, if you
But
let them control you, then you probably won't do anything for a very
Yeah.
long time.
And I would never force someone to take me skydiving if they're not comfortable because I have epilepsy. But there are people that are comfortable taking people with epilepsy skydiving. I've seen it lots of
Okay.
times. I've seen lots of epileptics go skydiving. Well, I've heard of it, seen it online. But it's up to it's a two-party thing. So that might be your point of view, but someone else's might be different.
I mean, if you're feeling safe doing this, I mean, that's all. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you feel like you're able and that person is comfortable, then that's good. That's everything. And
That's
That's
why I
my
feel
point
like
of view.
if something
well,
happens during it, then something happens. Can't do anything about it then.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
if I were you, I will choose a period of time when my seizures are kind of under control.
Yeah.
So there is no
Yeah,
any
that's what
type
you would
of
wanna
risk.
yeah, that's
And
what
also,
you
I
wanna
will
use it.
choose to have down where I'm going to land some paramedics in case of an emergency.
mhm.
That's
Yeah.
how I proceed if I were you.
I say like you got to know your body. Like some people, they know triggers. You know
Yeah.
some triggers, or whatever the case. Just know your body. And some people, the stress will cause a seizure. If you know this is a situation that you're not going to be stressful or stressed doing, then that's one less worry. Um, but yeah, I try to do things and just not let things hold me back. Lights don't bother me and all that. As you see in the concert I went to, it's crazy. I had so much footage. Those lights were everywhere. But
I've seen some crazy videos of that man at some of his concerts.
yeah,
Yeah.
nothing got to me. I was on floor seats. I was cool. I told the person next to me, and she was like this 5 foot, maybe shorter girl. Told her, I have epilepsy. You know what that is? And she was like, yeah, I know what it is. It's like, okay, yeah, I have epilepsy. Like, and I have seizures. She was like, whoa. I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I need to tell you. This is nothing to worry about right now. I'll be okay. I was just letting you know. Showed her my bracelet, so she didn't worry. I was like, yeah, you good. Nothing to worry about. And yeah, we got through the concert. I recorded 75% of it. Um, so yeah, I did that. You just every time I know when I'm going somewhere alone, like I gotta catch the train or I gotta catch the Uber. Those are times I think about it, but then I gotta not think about it as much. You let it bother you, and you might have a seizure.
Yeah, I usually go to the past like either 2 or 3 years I would go to Summer Smash. But this year it's hot and I don't like the heat because of my autism and because of my epilepsy. And honestly the lineup was the same as last year's, and it from the videos I saw, I didn't really feel like I was missing out. So but I usually go with my friend Jackie, and we're really close, and I love her. And I was like, yeah, just I'll be there in spirit with you, because I was like, I don't know, something's telling me this year if I go, it's gonna be a waste of $300, and I'm going to end up having a seizure. And she was like, girl, I passed out in the crowd. And she doesn't have any like medical things. She's like, girl, I passed out in the heat. It was so hot. She was like, it's a good thing you didn't come. She was like, it was fun, but it was hot and I was passing out. And they were trying to get me out of there, but I wanted to stay because it was future. And I was like, I'm so glad you got to enjoy it. I'm so glad that I didn't go and I didn't pay for that experience either. So I think a really big thing is again knowing your body and being aware of your surroundings and what position you're going to be putting yourself into. Because in that position, I would like to go to a concert, but I would not like to go to Summer Smash because that is a bunch of teenagers and college kids, and they do weird things, and I just wasn't really interested in that this year. I don't know.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Mm.
What?
So like you said about Summer Smash?
hmm
Oh yeah, I almost went to that concert, but then I realized that like it was gonna be a lot of people that's why I didn't like purchase the
And it's the worst. It's like the worst kind of. It's like it's a lot of pubescent teens and a lot of college kids and a lot of the same kind of. There's like if you live in Illinois, you know kind of how the Chicago people are.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah, oh
And
yeah.
sometimes you don't really want to be in a crowd mushed up with everyone like that. And not everyone's like that, but the last time I went, there were the amount of times like these weird people would just or like fights would break out. I was just like, I don't really want to. It's Summer Smash is like a free for all kind of
Oh yeah, there's
with music background.
yeah, like I've seen like YouTube videos of like where people would like mosh pit and actually get into a fight. So, I knew what happened because like one, I'm a Cubs fan, so I'm gonna lay that out there.
Hey, you do the Cubs. I don't pay attention to baseball, so I don't know anything
So
about baseball. But
I
I just
couldn't
know that.
imagine myself in a stadium. Like when I had floor seats the other day, it was different, but that baseball stadium, it just seems so cramped up. But never been there, seen it on TV. Just looks a little more crammed than a football game stadium would be, especially if you got floor seats. Um,
Yeah, Summer Smash is like a festival, and it's like a music festival for mostly rap artists. And yeah, I didn't love the lineup this year. I didn't really feel like listening to Ian.
yeah,
Yeah.
you threw me off. You threw me off earlier. One sentence you were like, I'm trying to take it slow. The next sentence you're like, and then I swam a mile. And then the next sentence you're talking about, I don't do good with distance.
Well, well,
Every
wait.
sentence changed.
Wait, so the pool is 25 meters. So down and back is 50 meters. So one lap would be a 50 meter. If that makes sense, because like a normal size um pool for swimmers that are typically like competitive is 50 meters. Um that's what I used to train in is a 50-meter pool. So you go down and back, you'd be 100. Um I'm not good with distance when it comes to like my eyes. Like I can't see. But I have my notepad where like I write down like, okay, 10 laps of freestyle, 10 laps of breaststroke, and then 12 laps alternating freestyle and breaststroke. So it would be 1 lap would be down and back, and then so on and so forth. If that makes sense. That's the diff. I don't really, I actually forget a lot like what lap I'm on. So I usually go an extra lap at the end, just in case I missed one, or I either added on one. So I don't know. I usually forget, but that's how I measure it in my head. I wish it was a 50-meter pool. That would make it a lot easier for me.
Sounds like a huge pool.
No, it's just 25. It's 25 meters.
I'm used to city pools, so I couldn't imagine what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, it's a gym pool.
Gotcha.
Yeah, with the lanes, with the little buoys. And you're gonna
I've seen one.
boom. Sometimes I take the little kickboard to work on my kick.
So,
They have fins too.
Jason, the icebreaker today was something you did to change to better your quality of life with epilepsy. Sorry.
Get it out of a toxic household.
That's a good one. We can move forward unless you want to speak on it.
Yeah, yeah, I could speak on it, like just so, like there was like this year there was a Florida State shooting.
Hey, AJ.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Peace and healing, love.
Oh man, oh.
Yeah, this is part of who we are, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much love.
I just sent her a message in the chat, so hopefully she'll be able to see that when she comes to.
I'm sorry, I had to yell somebody, and
yeah, I know.
I
the
was
biggest thing that came to mind was Kate. Nobody was looking. Were you guys paying attention?
I saw something happening, but I didn't know what to say, and I have a bad reaction time thing, so I'm sorry. I should have said something earlier.
I'm sorry, Jason. I cut you off.
No apologies, man. No.
Oh no,
I didn't even notice I was in chat, and I can't do both, so I like focus. And as soon as I heard you, I looked at it. Oh, thanks, Pookie.
Well,
But
I saw.
Okay, I still got her chat on Reddit too, so I can text her that way.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I saw them, and then I noticed Pookie saw them around the same time I did, so I was like, okay, I think.
I seen it, but I was for some reason I'm pointing and no one's looking.
I know.
At me.
I saw you pointing, and I was like, I don't know what to do with the pointing.
Yeah, so I just yelled out, Kate.
Yeah, I was like 1 second, I was like hitting my little pen, and then I was like, you're pointing, and I was like, my mind is like unmute, 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 and then I'm just sitting here like frozen. I'm like, unmute, Olivia, unmute. Oh Lord. Okay. I hope that they are okay.
Well, then again, remember it's a 10-hour time difference. I know she didn't say anything about it today, but that was the. Oh, maybe she's coming back. Okay. Anyway, it is a big time difference.
That is true. I
Yeah.
think I took that from the accent.
Romania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think she mentioned it before that, yeah, it's like in the middle of the night. So it's really hard for her.
Good
Well,
for her for joining though. For
I am so glad
like,
she's here, and
yeah, I'm glad that she got to be part of it.
we know, yeah, now we know that she's got somebody there to help her. So I feel better about that. But wow, wow, yeah, just comes out of nowhere. She was perfectly fine talking a minute ago.
That's the first time I've seen seizure. Besides
You
myself.
okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, that's not my first.
That's the first time I've seen a seizure too.
Yes, yeah, same here. Like that the first time I ever saw a seizure. Like and
Well,
that
this
like,
is been online.
I'm sorry, Jason. I didn't even. I was not hearing what you were saying. I was focused on. I seen it and I couldn't hear what you were saying. It was like a focal or couldn't hear what you're saying, but I see what I'm looking at, and I was just staring at him. And for some reason, I'm thinking, "Don't cut you off," and I don't know why I was thinking that. And then I just started pointing, and I was like, "Why am I pointing?" I just yelled out, "Kate," because it had already been going on for 10 seconds.
oh yeah, like, oh yeah, just like, just like, don't apologize. Like, just like, I've seen people that had a seizure, so like, so like, it is bad. It's really, really bad.
Yes.
I think it only lasted around like a minute, I'm gonna say.
I said less than that.
Yeah, I don't think that because I think that I kind of saw it right before you did, and then you saw it, so I think it wasn't
I
enough.
was looking and like
Hopefully there's
wondering at
more.
first what was going on is what I was thinking.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just added him to the waiting room in case he gets better and wants to join. Um, I got something here. It says, "Why do epileptics complain about taking medication? I can't relate to other people with epilepsy. It seems that more often than not, people have to take medication and they complain about it. Just don't take them then. I only took life not taking, I only took it for a short time when I was 7, but I spent my whole life not taking medication. My episodes were still ongoing, but they never got worse or happening too often. Can an epileptic relate to or not taking medication? I can't relate. I take my medication. I do as I'm told. I don't want to have a seizure. I don't want to risk it.
It depends on the severity of your seizures as well, too. If I don't take my medication, I'm doomed. So I had a friend recently that was like, we should just go full on holistic. I think it'll be good for you. And I was like, you don't have epilepsy. Um, you have endometriosis. I have epilepsy. You can do that. But I am gonna continue taking my medications as prescribed.
I kind of decided for myself that the risk outweighed the benefit on that clobazam. It's a benzodiazepine. They were pulling the same suggestions of just take more every 3 months, and that's the one that I decided to go the opposite. Took time. Just took a like 5 milligrams less every 2 weeks, and so far so good. I don't think the one on Wednesday was because I didn't have the clobazam because I've been off it for more than 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I think it's I mean saying just don't take it kind of sounds a little like
Cold turkey.
yeah, like I would
I'm still taking the Keppra.
Yeah, like for me, like I knew like the Keppra was really bad, and so I decided to call my neurologist to switch the medications, but I'm still not doing like any better, honestly. I still feel the same. And um but it's if I just stop taking the medication and do my holistic stuff and have seizures, then what place am I in then? Like, I'm just gonna be even more depressed and bedbound. So at least with the medication, I can move around. I can make myself noodles in the morning after I take my medication, of course. But um, I did notice with the Reviact, in the morning, my uh, myoclonic seizures are a lot more prevalent than Keppra. So Keppra is definitely, and what I've read, Keppra is definitely a lot stronger, but she's got her strength in all areas. So I'm giving the Breviact a chance, and I'm going to wait until we up my dose and stuff like that. And here's our favorite person. Tony is here with Mark, just so you know. He's here with us, my cat.
The champ is here. Hey Kevin, hey Mark. Icebreaker today, you guys were just on time. The icebreaker today was something I said just on time, and I'm not even ready. Oh, what's something? Oh, I still don't remember. I gotta go back.
Does quality of
Something you
life ring a bell?
Feel
Okay, there you
like
go. Yeah.
something you did to improve your quality of life while having epilepsy.
Uh, Gardening.
Wanna elaborate on that?
Gardening is therapeutic. I don't know. It's wow, I hadn't thought about it more than that. I kind of felt like it was self-evident.
Do you have one of those
Um,
windowsill planters or a little trough outside?
no, just out on the patio, the backyard. I'm just growing some peppers in some grow bags. Um, so, um, yeah, I don't know. I love growing pepper plants.
Cool. What about
my
Kevin?
oh
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Lufa.
my just if you knew Mark, my grandpa removed a bush that he didn't like out of his front yard, and it was like one of those little prickly ones, and now a zucchini, like a squash plant, has started growing. Um, out of nowhere. No one planted it. He didn't plant it. We didn't plant it, and it's growing like full on healthy growing. So, if you know anything about that, that would be nice. Did the bush give birth to the squash?
Could a bird have flown by that had
Oh,
eaten something?
we do have a lot of geese.
Yeah,
And
that would be my guess that somehow a bird had managed to eat something with a zucchini seed and plop.
okay, thank you.
I just know there's a lot of types of gourds, like gourd squash plants, and I don't know. I, they always find a way somehow. But yeah, I did gardening for a lot of years. I had to stop because it's not because of the epilepsy, because uh, it was great gardening. I had uh, it's a picture on my computer. I don't know if you can see this, but My phone said sunflower there. It's a 15-foot sunflower. Yeah. I had those all over the backyard. But I had to stop growing food because of the rodents got them. Had huge cucumbers and great tomatoes, but I got groundhogs and stuff living in the garage now. So, but yeah, that was really fun. But as for stuff they don't eat, I got a huge patch of mint growing out there. I use that for lemonade and stuff. That's fun. And I got cherry trees, so I got every 2 years they come in, so they're great.
Do
I don't,
you
I mean, I don't grow them myself, but
you say
you get
huge
what I mean.
or huge?
Yeah.
Come in?
Do you say huge?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they are huge. Cherry trees. I mean, I planted them when I was
That's how my
in
grandpa says that. Where are you from? Do you mind me?
Philadelphia.
Where?
Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I was like, I heard you say that, and I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, because that's how my grandpa said.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, it's huge, and I'm like, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah,
Okay.
but well, I mean, when I planted the trees, they were like my height, but I mean, now they're like, oh my God, over 20 years, yeah, they're too much, like literally almost probably like a million cherries on them. I can't eat all those and they go bad in
I
two
could
weeks.
take some.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love
It's just impossible to manage.
To the icebreaker. Kevin, something you did to improve your quality of life.
Well, I would say getting more qualified for life. Like getting my certification for IT. Uh, that was something very positive. Kept me focused, kept my mind focused. Um, yeah. Uh, so that was very positive. I got to get back to that though, because you can't settle with one certification. So I got to get back to studying for more qualifications.
Yeah. Could you say that your memory gets better being that you're not having seizures anymore?
I don't know. I can't, there's no objective way to measure that, but I think uh, I'm not as much of an emotional mess than I was, back in the day. Like my college days, I was all over the place. I couldn't, um, you know, but it's concentrating is a problem. I can't concentrate. That's just the on anything. Concentrating is just not there. That's been a consistent problem. I would I'll stand by that. I don't know if it's because of the epilepsy. I think it's because of the medicine. I think the medicine really it's right there like, on the list of side effects for all my medicines. Concentration and memory retention is a side effect, and it's evident
Yeah,
in
my
my
memory
behavior.
retention is gone. I retend nothing past 5 seconds ago, if that.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, like someone else was telling me, just like, oh, you're not even paying attention to me. It's like I was watching them talk, but I didn't want to stare at his lips for too long, so I started looking other places. And people
Yeah.
assume since you're not looking at them, you're not paying attention. But yes, you guys came in at the right time. It's kind of the beginning.
Cool. Cool.
We're Where were we?
We were at Mark answering the icebreaker.
He answered with that.
Oh, shit. Okay. Cut that.
It's all right. We won't cut it. I got something. Oh, this one we talked about. It says catamenial epilepsy plus shame. I have not been diagnosed with epilepsy yet, as I am waiting to see a neurologist. I have been on the waiting list for over a year. Will finally be seen in September. But my GP is almost certain I have epilepsy and I'm having temporal lobe seizures because before my period, I get a very intense feelings of deja vu. I get those feelings and now I'm like, oh, okay, my period is coming soon. It also makes me very tired. I disassociate plus 3 4 4 3 3 3 3 other things. When I get hit with the deja vu feeling, I used to feel mostly fear and anxiety, very, very panicky, like the world was about to end, but now I feel this very gross, shameful feeling. Does anyone else get this? I hate it. It feels like I've done something dirty. It almost feels like sexual shame. Sexual shame. I am a virgin, so I don't know what the hell is going on. I hate it so much. It just makes me feel disgusting. I don't think I could understand where that person's coming from because like catamenial is like for women, right? I don't know. A lot of that sounds like women stuff. Can anyone explain?
I mean, that is a horrible way to feel, to say that she feels disgusting. Sounds like she really just needs to talk to somebody that can relate and let her know that you are not the only one, because that's exactly how it feels. Not only around that time of the month, but to have something else going wrong with you. I think she definitely needs support from somebody to really mean it when they tell her there's nothing wrong with you. We're gonna figure this out and get it under control. I still don't have auras or any kind of different feelings around that time, but I'm sure she can still relate to us.
Yeah, um mine are catamenial, even though I'm technically not diagnosed. And I understand that feeling that she was talking about. I used to think like, what is wrong? Like it feels like I did something wrong. Like you feel guilty or something, but that feeling that you have in your body that you did something wrong. It's not like a psychological feeling, like logical. And I think it's an aura. It might be associated with like the dread sort of feeling, like something bad is gonna happen, impending doom. Um, but yeah, the catamenial seizures are like around the menstrual cycle and ovulation, and also if you're going through menopause too, it can get bad around that time. So a lot of doctors don't understand it either.
One of the comments says, I'm the same. I was never diagnosed with epilepsy myself, but I had the same seizures you describe around my ovulation and period. I went on progesterone, the 3 mini pill, and stopped them, and I haven't had a seizure in 3 years now. I know you're not sexually active, but do look into trying it. It might not work as everyone is different, but will be life changing if it does.
Yeah, I think I'm sorry, are you done? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I think a big misconception with birth control is that it's for birth control. But a lot of women do use it for their periods, just whether it be the pain or if they have endometriosis or if they have uh, the one that starts with an A. I forgot. She was telling us all about it. But they're just because um you use a birth control doesn't mean you have to be sexually active or anything like that. So don't let that skew your mind at all or have you think that that is purely what it's for. Because when I went for my birth control, that's not the reason that I went to get it. It was to control my periods and the pain of it. So I just think that would be a common misconception amongst people or people that whose families aren't properly educating them on their bodies. Yes.
Yeah, I got another comment here. It says C2 catamenial epileptic here. Are you having psychological symptoms with the feeling of shame? I've since learned with my neuro that I was experiencing an epigastric aura, which was like a wave of adrenaline, fear, and nausea at the same time. You guys got a lot going to deal with as ladies. Praise you guys. You guys, this sounds like a lot. We'll move forward. It says diagnosis with normal EEG. How do you get a diagnosis with normal EEG? Or how do you get a neurologist to care? Every symptom matches focal epilepsy, and I heard that it's not unusual to have all clear EEGs between seizures, but everyone tells me that they will start to help me once the EEG is unnormal. Before that, they won't. If someone from Germany reads this, that I would be so helpful for neurologist ideas. We're not in Germany, but I'm sure we got some great advice for this person, guys. I'm sure you guys got something for him. Come on, guys. Someone Google something. Hey, Brandon.
Hey.
You're right in time. We'll give everybody else time to think about what I just said as you get the icebreakers.
I didn't hear what
Yes.
you said. I apologize.
We'll come back to it. I
Okay.
don't even remember what it said, so.
Okay.
Do any of us remember anything? Come on. We know this by now.
Yeah. So the icebreaker today, Brandon, was what's something you did to improve the quality of life with epilepsy?
Look at that. The lighting is messing with me. Yeah, I can live with that. Something that I did to improve. Wait, so it was something I did to improve my quality of life.
With epilepsy.
Um, hmm. I'd say like letting people around me know, it makes me feel more secure, knowing that, the people around me, understand it, at least that I have it, which means I'm I don't know, less stressed, can help with not having a seizure at all.
All right. Hey, Toaster. You arrived right in time. We're still on icebreaker. So the icebreaker to you would be, what is something you did to improve your quality of life with epilepsy?
Can I think about that for a moment?
Go ahead. We'll come back to you.
It's a good one, by the way.
Let's see if I got something. Mine was just Jeff told me this. Just smoking pot. It helps me eat. It helps me sleep. Yeah. Not saying I don't know where I'd be without it, but after I stopped with nicotine,
Admit,
that
if it wasn't for you guys, I'd be out in an Uber right now to the smoke shop, and I'd be in so much trouble. because I wouldn't just be getting Delta, which my parents are okay with. I'd be getting nicotine. And that's not
Yeah,
a good thing. So you guys saved me.
thank you.
I so thank you, because I was like, no, I really want to be with my friends. And
Yeah,
I canceled the ride. So now I'm here.
yeah.
And
Try
Jeff
some
got
of this
all that
B12.
yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Nature's Made.
I knew you were going to bring that up. When you said smoking pot, I was like, wait a minute, hang on. He hasn't said what he's done, what he's definitely going to say yet.
Yeah.
You gotta put in the B12.
Yeah. So that's something that improved my quality as well because, like I said, since that day, I cut out nicotine and I stopped like smoking blunts. Just smoke papers now or vape. Um, no more nicotine.
I
Same
got
Yeah,
day,
I can't.
almost cold
It just
turkey.
I got the B12. But I did go a little ham and I didn't realize that I got 5,000. And then, so
you're probably very awake.
yeah, so it's yeah. Yesterday I did throw up because I think it and my stimulant medication for my ADHD kind of smashed
That either.
heads for a minute and we're like, whoa, girl, what are you doing?
Good
So,
night.
yeah, third day's a charm. I'm feeling a little more up and down, but um, I got the maximum strength.
Yeah, I
What?
got extra strength and I got the gummies and they're
Yeah.
3,000 micrograms. So I'm doing that and it's brought back, like I said, the focals are gone. Like I'm getting way more appetite than I've ever been in
Well,
a very long time. And I'm not sleeping as much anymore.
it was, I was good. I came in, I was so excited. I was like, I got the 3,000 microgram gummies. And I get it, and I'm like, wait a minute. These aren't gummies, and it says adults use only as directed by a physician. Take one soft shell gel daily with water and a meal. And I'm like, water and a meal? Whoa, wait, hold on. Like, what did I just order? So the Prime Day got to me a little bit. I didn't exactly see what I put in the cart. Okay, I I see it now. Yeah, I should have had mine says maximum strength.
Yeah,
What
And
day?
dietary supplement.
this one's just extra strength and they're gummies, so you don't have
Also
to
didn't
take as
fall
much
asleep
food and
morning
pills.
or last night.
I just take it when I take my pill twice a day and pretty
Yeah,
good.
Lufa, I was going to ask, what time of day are you taking them? Because if like your
In the
meds
morning, right when I wake up.
right when you wake up, okay.
But I
Uh,
eat food with it.
it yeah, I was gonna say like if your meds are messing with it, maybe think about doing it at lunch. Um, because if you're getting the
Well,
huge like uh amount, like the 5,000, that's gonna last you through a whole day. But it wouldn't like it would give your like meds time to sort of get into your system before adding that in, if that helps. I don't know, just a thought.
Or at
yeah.
least like stagger by a couple hours or so.
What ADHD
Exactly.
medication do you take?
Well, what I was thinking of doing was what I would have done when I was taking the Keppra because I had to eat with the Keppra or else I would get sick. So, um, I know I like to eat noodles, buttered noodles, and it's great. Works like a charm. Um, so I did that today and I took my medication that I usually take in the morning, which are just my three main meds now. And I let those get into my system, make my meal, eat my meal, and then I take the 5,000. But I don't think I'm gonna be taking two. Um, and I don't think I'm gonna take it any later in the day either because um I don't know what's wrong with my sleep schedule right now. I don't know. There's a lot going on with it right now, and so I'm praying that this doesn't mess up my sleep schedule. I don't think it will. If anything, I might, if it doesn't mess up my sleep schedule, I might take it more towards like like 11 or 12 so that I can get that consistent energy throughout the day, because usually my first amount of energy comes from my stimulant and then it goes out because the other meds are downers. So,
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to like overstimulate yourself.
yeah, no, yeah, I don't want
Which
to do that.
ADHD medication do you take?
The methylphenidate.
Okay, sorry, I need the
That's
Oh,
Ritalin.
that's Ritalin. Thank you.
for the,
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess the more of the question was, is it extended release?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. Um,
yeah, and I
in
still get
that
exhausted, so
yeah, in that case, I definitely take it more around the lunchtime,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Names are very bad for me today. I'm normally really good with names. I try to be. But
Who's
he mentioned lunchtime. Go shut up now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I will start taking it around lunchtime. I think that that is a good conclusion that we have come to. Thanks, guys. Um, yeah, I think I'll start doing that because it's kind of like taking a natural stimulant and then my stimulant at once, and then it all coming together at once. And then a disco party in my head, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be manic. So I don't want to do that. Thank you.
Um, the also the icebreaker. I was waiting for your toaster. You got that yet? I know you forgot. It's all right. Think about it now.
I'm still on mute. I'm post seizure, so just words are harder for me than normal, and I don't like that
Gotcha. We can
because
move
words.
forward. We'll come back
Yeah,
to you. This one says diagnosis with normal EEG. How do you get a diagnosis with normal EEG? Or did your neurologist, how did you get your neurologist to care? Every symptom matches focal epilepsy, and I heard that it's not unusual to have all clear EEGs between seizures, but everyone tells me that they will start to help me once the EEG is unnormal. Before that, they won't. Um, yeah, I've heard about EEGs being good, and then you still having seizures, and they don't know what's going on because they don't know what to check for, and so on. Um, I can't hear you, Toaster.
oh, very common.
Oh,
Very, very common for it to start out like that because the times for EEG start off like they only do it for 30 minutes and then longer and longer and longer and longer until you finally get that EMU stay. If that makes any sense.
yeah, it does. Anyone got advice for this person? We can go to a comment.
Have a seizure in their office. And then they'll be like, you have epilepsy.
Here,
Whoa.
have
I've
Keppra.
never known. You would have
Yeah,
never known himself. I don't know. It's a game. It's literal game. Depending on where you are, but in most
Do
cases,
me.
or a lot of cases, I hear that it's kind of like a game of playing and seeing, making the right moves. I'm sorry, I'm not thinking straight, but uh Yeah, make sure you say the right things, because there are right and wrong things to say, which is kind of a weird thing, but yeah, I don't know.
One of
No,
the comments.
you're absolutely right. I mean, because the burden is in this country and with this healthcare is the burden is on us.
Mm-hmm.
They automatically distrust us. We are the we have to uh, do so much. And when you say it's a game, uh, yeah, we're constantly on the offense, and yeah, they I think it feels like we are assumed to be always lying and
Mm-hmm.
have to prove so much. But
Or we're self-diagnosing ourselves, or we're this or that, or we looked on Google too much, and
yeah,
they say all these things, but once I don't know, I
and
think part of it too is insurance. They think that they're doctors. I don't know where their degree is, but I would love to see it. I would love to see my insurance company's degree. I'd love to see all of theirs and all different types of healthcare. I'd love to see it.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.